Mr. Kane Hodder. Yeah. It's a big twist that you're here tonight.
Oh my God. Love Fritos, man.
Say, I have the first question for Kane Hodder.
Uh-oh.
Kane, are you doing a photo op tomorrow in costume and makeup?
Yes,
Tell us about that.
I'm doing it.
I heard that everyone knows one of the most iconic Jason designs is the Jason 7, Zombie Jason.
And I believe I've only done it once before, but this is a brand new version that Tom Devlin built for us. And we're doing a Part 7 photo op, which is extremely rare.
Yeah, and some people may have had some questions because there are two options, Jason unmasked and Jason with a mask. So if you look over there, see in the middle, that is the Jason unmasked, where Kane is going to, he has allowed us, he's going to have prosthetics glued to his face, and he will be Zombie Jason unmasked. And then for those of you who like a mask on Jason, he will then put the mask on over the prosthetics.
Just like I did in the film, you probably heard me talk about it before, but we shot that film for 8 weeks, and I had to have the makeup glued on every single day, even when I wore the hockey mask, because you can see the teeth on the side. They were, the dentures I wore came out alongside my cheek, and if I opened and closed my mouth, you could see the teeth opening and closing here. So, because part of the hockey mask was missing, we had to do the makeup every fucking day. Sorry.
And so these photo ops, so it's going to be tomorrow, and it's around 6 p.m.-ish tomorrow. You can check the schedule. So everyone here can buy them at the Celeb Photo Op desk, which is right outside here. And you can buy them tonight, or you can buy them tomorrow, all the way. And we have a special event tomorrow. Tom Devlin will be on the stage showing slides from the creation of the prosthetics and the makeup. And so this is going to be a great look of him doing the sculpt and the A/B molds and such and everything. So that'll be tomorrow. So check that out, and you can buy the photo ops tonight or tomorrow, and it's going to be fantastic. So
it
thank
really
everyone.
is a rare opportunity. It's my favorite makeup from any of the movies I've done, and I'm just happy we're doing it here.
Great. Well, thank you, and you've been a great friend to us throughout the years, Kane. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
And we'll turn this over to the professional moderator.
Oh, I wish you hadn't said that. Now there's pressure. So because it is the anniversary of the New Blood, and because you're doing this very special makeup tomorrow, I thought we could start out by talking about Part 7. Because of course that's where you start as Jason, and you got your start with not your start, but in terms of your relationship with John Carl Buechler on Prison, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
A movie called Prison. Not where me and him met. No, it was a movie directed by Rennie Harlan, who was unknown at the time. Obviously went on to direct some really big movies, but Viggo Mortensen was in it, and I was the stunt coordinator, and I did some fun stunts, including a high fall off the upper tier of the prison. We shot it in Rawlins, Wyoming, and am I boring you, sir? You're fucking yawning. You? Me? No. Yes. Goatee and glasses.
That's half an audience, by the way.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. But we're in Rawlins, Wyoming, and it was a fun movie to do. Viggo Mortensen became a friend on that movie, and John Buechler did my makeup as a character called Forsyth, which is a guy strapped to an electric chair, comes out of the ground and scares the hell out of everybody. Kind of a ghostly type image, a dead body looking rotted corpse kind of character. And I think you probably heard this story, but Rennie and the effects people, including Beekler, thought it would be cool because I've been underground as this corpse for quite a while. So they wanted to put live worms all over my makeup just to make it look even creepier. Not that you can really see it when it's photographed like that, but they said, "Are you okay with that?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. It's just worms, earthworms, no big deal." And I said, at one point I have to scream and open my mouth and everything and scream. I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have live worms in my mouth? And so I did it, which everybody was like, this guy's fucking crazy. But to me, it wasn't a big deal. They rinsed them off. So, and even with that, you can't really see it that well. But I think based on the performance in the makeup, which is very difficult to do when you have 3.5 hours of stuff glued on your face and lenses and dentures and stuff, Beekler enjoyed how I worked in the makeup, and then the enthusiasm for putting the worms and stuff. He was just really impressed that I would go to those lengths. So the next year he was hired to direct Friday the 13th, Part 7. There had been 6 movies before, and it was a different guy playing Jason each time. So he immediately said, I'm going to direct the movie. This is the guy that's playing Jason. And, Paramount didn't know of me because I'm a stunt guy. So nobody knew who I was at the time. And they're like, well, he's not really that tall. And Beekler said, just trust me. He's going to do great as a character. Had to keep fighting for me. And eventually they gave in and let him make me the character. And obviously, if I did 3 more movies after that, then, he had made the right choice. And they were happy with it too. But it's all because of John Beekler, and he died too early. And I miss him, and he really did completely change my career because of that film.
So they rinsed off the worms. The issue was the dirt?
In my opinion, yes.
There's no Fritos in that bag, are there?
No, these are worms. Does it really seem that disgusting, or is it not that big a deal? Not that big a deal, right? It's just, if it was like centipedes or something, it'd be a little creepy, but the earthworms, I used to, go fishing with those, so.
I actually asked this in the last panel because it's true of the Terrifier movies as well.
Oh, that they suck? Is that?
Not where
I'm kidding.
about working with a director who also does effects. Did you find that there were advantages to that, disadvantages to that, because he's maybe overtaxed?
No, I think it's a great combination.
Yeah.
Maybe other 2 different jobs might not mesh as well, but a director that's used to makeup effects knows what they can photograph and how it's going to look the best and stuff. So in most cases, I think it works pretty well.
And what was your take on the character the first time you went to play Jason?
I was a Friday the 13th fan for all the first 6 movies and enjoyed watching the character, thought the character was cool as hell, and you know, still, even this much after the fact, it's still amazing to me that I was put in that position and given that opportunity to play a character that's already known around the world. And now it's going to be me. So there's some pressure to doing the character justice, I thought. So when we first did the makeup tests and stuff, and I would be at Beekler's shop, you know, we're seeing what we liked and what we didn't, what we wanted to change and everything, and I would look in the mirror and just do things that to see if I thought certain movements would work and certain looks and stuff like that, and that's how I decided to, you know, again, a lot of you have already heard this, so I apologize, but whenever I'd be in the makeup and just staring at myself in the mirror and trying to look intimidating, I often, if I wasn't moving, I often thought, it looks like it could be a dummy. And so what can I do to make Jason look really scary, even though he's just standing there? And so I tried some things, and then I did the breathing thing. And when I did that in the mirror the first time, I said, oh shit, that looks scary as hell. That looks like he's about to explode, even though he's just staring at me. So certain things I developed in the makeup test process, but then other things that people have enjoyed about their performance were things that I didn't even realize I was doing. And you know, a couple examples being like, somebody once years ago said, my favorite thing about you playing Jason is how if Jason's going this direction and then is going to go that way, they said, I love how you turn your head and then your body. And I said, I do? I didn't even know I did that. I just did what felt right. And for the most part, the stuff that felt right when I was just doing it ended up being the right choice within the film.
That's someone complaining that Kane Hodder is on stage.
I can't blame him, really. And somebody else I was talking to was talking about the frozen head kill in Jason X, which is my second favorite Jason kill that I did. Third being the punching the guy's head off. But number one will always be the sleeping bag. When I read it in the script for the first time, I thought, oh my God, that's amazing, because anybody can kill with a weapon. That's not a weapon. So I thought it was so ingenious of an idea, and it's still my favorite. But the frozen head one, I take the girl, put her head into the liquid nitrogen or whatever it was supposed to be. I don't think that's even possible, but put it in there and then pull her out and smash her head. But my favorite part of that, and again, it was just something I did spur of the moment, I put her head in, I pull it out, I look at it, and then I smash it. I have to admire my work before I destroy her skull. It's just, the biggest downfall for people playing characters that don't speak or have facial expressions, the way I feel anyway, is that because of losing those two things that you use as an actor, then people try too hard. They think they have to overcompensate. Well, I can't speak or use my face, so I have to do this with my body, and then it looks phony. So it has to be something where it looks natural. And, you know, so many of the people that, a few of the other people that played Jason, some of the Michael Myers actors, I get that impression when I watch the movie, trying to be scary instead of just being naturally scary. And so I've always tried to incorporate that thought process, even if I'm doing dialogue. And, you know, I was never trained as an actor with dialogue, so if I can pull it off, then, you know, that's something that I've picked up by watching quality actors that I've worked with doing stunts. And there's been a lot of those. I mean, you guys know I did a scene with Charlize Theron in Monster where she won the Oscar for that portrayal. So when you work with people like that, and when you're a stunt person on a set, you're not involved in every single shot. Like crew members and stuff, grips and electric, and everybody else on the film has to be involved working on every shot. But if you're stunts and there's no stunts going on, you can just watch. And it's invaluable information you can gather by just watching somebody how they prepare, because you can go off to the side and watch them before they go on camera, what they're doing, just pick up, you know, tips and ideas and stuff. And so I always say that if I can pull off dialogue, it's because of working with actors like that. And there's been so many big actors, very talented actors that I've worked with doing stunts, and that's probably one of the best parts of the job, is working with an actor that you've enjoyed watching them work. You know, doing a stunt scene with Brad Pitt in Seven, that's pretty amazing, because, you know, normally you fight another stunt guy, and you know, you don't necessarily work with the actors because they often have a stunt double. So, but, you know, it's just one of the really enjoyable parts of my career.
Awesome. If anyone has a question for Kane Hodder, please go up to the microphone here.
The people that have enjoyed the performance, and, you know, when I did Part 7, I didn't expect to do another one. Nobody else had.
Right.
So why would I think I'd be the person that they'd ask back? So for that first 6 months or something between the release of Part 7 and being told I was doing Part 8, I used to sign a few things, not much. I used to go to Fangoria conventions and sign a few things, and I'd always sign my name and put Jason number 7. Because that's what I was. I was just one of 7 guys that played the character. Then I got the job for Part 8, and once I started signing for that, then I dropped the 7. But if you ever see an autograph with the number 7 after it, I think it's far more valuable and uncommon, because I did it for such a short period. You have one?
Yeah. When you went on to do Part 8 and then you would go to do the other ones, was there ever any question to go back to the previous makeup from the previous movie? And before you answer, I just want to say my favorite Jason kill of yours is the jaw at the head smashing of Part 7. That was the best for me.
That was pretty good. Yeah, it's probably number 4 for me. Yeah, but that's pretty good out of, what did I do, 55 kills in the Friday movies?
Wow.
And 67 in the Hatchet movies? Because my average went down in Jason Goes to Hell because I barely killed anybody.
got one guy.
One guy. That's right. And I don't count the other kills because it wasn't me. And, you know, when they told me that Jason was going to be within other characters, I thought, well, that's a little strange, and that's going to be less time in the makeup and on screen for me, but wouldn't it be cool if somehow that, and before I go into that, you know, we've been working on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game for 3 years, and it's coming out in 2 weeks. And I don't think I'm supposed to talk about it. But I was asked to do the motion capture for Leatherface in the game because I had done the Jason mocap for that game, same company. And they asked me to portray Leatherface, and I was like, well, I mean, in my opinion, the best Leatherface was Gunner.
Yeah.
And so I tried to make the performance not my own. I wanted to make it feel like Gunner. It's a difficult thing to do because he was a genius with that chainsaw. And when you try to do that well-known chainsaw dance, which is in the game, with a real chainsaw, that is hard to swing that thing around, and I didn't appreciate what Gunner had done until I tried to do that. Not easy. But the point of that story is that Jason Goes to Hell, I thought, if the evil of Jason is in other people, I thought it might be cool for some of the other characters to just put a little bit of Kane flavor in their own performance, because they are technically Jason now, even though they look like something else. I thought, as a watcher of the movie, I thought it might be cool to see somebody like do something that I'm kind of known for playing the character, the breathing thing or the head turn or something. And every actor in that movie that I mentioned that to had the reaction of, yeah, well, my Jason wouldn't do that. So it fell upon deaf ears. Nobody cared to do that. I guess they thought I was overstepping or something, but because, you know, it's their performance, so it didn't work. But I still think it would have been kind of cool to see somebody, just a little touch of it, but it didn't work out.
Kane, of all the times you played Jason, which one was your favorite film to work on?
Well, I loved all of them, but Part 7. Yeah.
Right on.
Thanks. Yeah, it was the best makeup for sure. And since I'm a stuntman, it had the best stunts in it, and always be my favorite.
Hello. I don't know if anyone's ever asked this a lot, but I've seen there are some deleted scenes in Part 7 New Blood. Were you Jason in this scene, the delete scene where Jason grabs the fisherman in Part 7?
Did you ever grab a fisherman?
The alternate ending of Part 7.
There's some deleted scenes in Part 7 New Blood.
It had to be me.
Like, do you recall doing this? Like, I have the video right here. What?
You might have to bring it up here.
Is that allowed? Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay.
I don't even remember this.
Like, I've seen it right in a pine scenes making in Part 7.
Oh yes, absolutely, yes. That is me, and that's my buddy Alan, stunt guy, playing the fisherman. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, he's a stunt guy that I did many movies with, and no longer around. But I said, you got to sit in this boat, and I'm going to come up and just grab you slightly. And he knew me and said, yeah, okay, slightly, I'm sure. And I pulled the shit out of him, yanked him into that water, but I totally forgot about that scene, yeah.
Thank you. We got time for probably just one more. If you didn't get a chance to ask Kane your question, that's okay. He's signing at his booth all weekend long. Go ahead, sir.
So, as you know, there's a new Crystal Lake TV show coming out. I was wondering what your thoughts are on Jason appearing in a TV show versus a 90-minute movie. Do you think that's going to be a problem? Do you think it could be a cool thing?
I mean, as a fan, it's intriguing to think about, and I am still a fan. I'm concerned about the platform that it might be on, because if it's like a network that doesn't allow cursing and stuff like that, it's gonna sanitize it too much.
It wouldn't be Friday the 13th.
Right. And, you know, just like Part 7, unfortunately, the timing of that movie coming out, every single kill was cut to almost nothing. There were so many good makeup effects in that movie. I mean, when I take the weed whacker and
It's one of my favorite delete scenes.
yeah, that's a great scene. And that was not scripted, by the way.
Oh, really?
That was John Beekler and I were in Alabama where we shot the movie. Before we started shooting, we went to a hardware store just looking around. We found that. And we both said, oh, I'm killing somebody with that. Because that was a real tool that I've never seen before or since. It was a weed whacker that you normally have the piece of fishing line, but it had a circular saw blade on it. And I couldn't believe it was real, so we bought it and we put it in the movie. But when I put that into the dummy, of course, because we used the real blade into a torso of a dummy, and when you see the movie, you see a slight cut and then it cuts away from it immediately. When we shot it, Beekler rigged so much shit in that body, and the thing started cutting, and guts and entrails went flying, and it was amazing. And just nobody ever got to see it. And I think John knew at the time that most everything was going to be cut out, so he almost went over the top, hoping that more would be left at the end of the editing process, which it didn't really happen. But I don't think he ever did the color correcting and stuff to save the footage. Back then, people didn't think about, we could show this later in the behind the scenes stuff. It wasn't really discussed, and I wish it had been, because every single kill in that movie was so much better than it is in the present version.
I would have to agree. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Kane will be signing at his booth all weekend. He's got the in-makeup photo op tomorrow that's super rare, so definitely get in on that. You are a legend, sir. You will always be Jason to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good time. This is one of my favorite conventions that I do. So have fun and enjoy it, and we'll see you over the weekend.